Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at $119,080 US. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solana. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's just start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin didn't do anything since our update of yesterday. It's still the same. We have to get a breakout over the white trend line at 119,775, but for sure over the time the price mark is going to move depending on when we are going to break out. So basically if we are going to break out later, the price is also going to move. And to the downside, 116,000 US dollar is still ongoing. So I still have something positive, and the positive thing is that in the RSI, if we look into the 4 hours RSI, we had here 3 touch points. The first one, the second one, and the third one. So we got a breakout, but this was a fake out. Now we are trying to break out again. And this time I would say it also looks positive to me. Why that? Because all the other altcoins went into a support area. So we have talked about it, that the altcoins can sell off into a specific area. They sold off yesterday into that area. So basically we have bullish divergences there, and I expect a push for the altcoins. And the push for the altcoins is just going to happen, in my opinion, if Bitcoin breaks out. So the market looks to me that Bitcoin will do the first mover. Like always, it's always going to be the first mover. So we need Bitcoin breaking out, then the altcoins can get some gains as well. So with that said, I would just jump into Ethereum because we still have the 2 key levels here. Everything which happens here is not tradable for me with my setup. Maybe you have a different one. So what about Ethereum? So we have to go into the 50 minutes chart. We have said yesterday that we have a white trend line which is very speculative, and if we break it to the upside, and I have said it here, I just want to see a 50 minutes candle close over the white trend line to get into a long position. Yeah, usually we wait for a retest, but this trend line is so sharp that it most likely not get retested. For sure in this case, if we make it longer, then yes, it got perfectly retested afterwards. But anyway, here was the breakout at 3,590 US dollar. Here was the candle close at 3,600 US dollar long with a very small position size. So we are just holding that position. And now we are in profits. That's pretty good. But since it's just a small trade, we want to scale up a bit. So when can I scale up? Let me delete this white trend line and let me steal that price mark. So if we get another breakout over 3,717 US dollar, then it would be positive. And for here, I want to see a push which goes over the candle close, over the upper part of the candle right here. So a new top. And afterwards a nice retest. Then I'm ready to scale up for a giant push for Ethereum. Why that? We have 2 different chart patterns. And for that we have to go into the 4-hour chart. Then you can see shoulder, head, shoulder, an inverted one which also broke to the upside and got its retest. Target $4,400 is still ongoing. But if we go into the 1-hour chart, then you can also see we just got a new bull flag with the selling of yesterday. And we also broke it to the upside. So basically, this bull flag is sharp, I know. It also got its retest, that's good. I still want to see the 3,717 US dollar breaking to the upside with the setup which I've told you. Then I'm ready to increase my position size. And the next key level would be the 3,980 US dollar. And you can already see it, it's green for long. So if we get a breakout over there, I would increase my long position even more. And at 4,090 US dollar, I would increase it as well again. You can see it. Those two green trend lines are resistance trend lines. You can see it. We have many touch points there. We got rejected there quite often. And on the green trend line at 4,090 US dollar, we got rejected 3 times in a row. So basically, if we break it to the upside, then let me try to explain it. So we have 2 different key levels, and the very perfect setup would be that we get our push and we break over 3,980 US dollar, get our retest, in the retest long, then we break out again, retest again long within the retest. This is the perfect setup. It doesn't have to happen. We can also break to the upside and get our retest just on the 4,090 US dollar. Then I won't also be in a trade, and if we sell off again into the 3,980 US dollar, then I'm going to get into a long position again, because afterwards it should be another bull flag. You can see it, we got quite often a bull flag which broke to the upside and got us a new top. So basically, this is what I'm waiting for. I just have to see how the chart is going to develop once we break to the upside. So I think Ethereum is going to get very interesting. The target of the bull flag is going to be the 4,600 US dollar. I will also give you here the price mark. This is just the length of this up move, and we then put it to the breakout point. Target 4,600 US dollar. I don't want to hold the position until 4,600 US dollar. I will take profits starting from 4,400 US dollar, also a bit lower than that, because we can always get rejected and sell off very, very quick. Just look into, for example, a Tesla stock. Yeah, we can look into Tesla, for example. I know it's a stock and not a crypto, but you can see how fast we sold off. And if I don't have a stop loss, or if I'm not on my phone, then this can happen, minus 10%. So basically, that's why I will take profits a bit earlier, because that can happen also with the Tesla stock, which has a far bigger market capitalization than Ethereum or in general Bitcoin. So basically, that's my game plan for Ethereum. So let's jump into XRP. And I think we have done a great analysis yesterday for XRP, also the day before, where we have tracked a double top pattern, this one here, which is within a bullish pennant. But this bullish pennant didn't break to the upside, it broke to the downside and got its retest. Afterwards, we have said $3.06 is going to be the target of that chart pattern. Do we want to short it? No, not in the current market stage. We had also 2 scenarios. Yesterday's video was here. And we have said we can sell off lower, but we can also break over the $3.36, get our retest, and then continue getting higher prices. So basically, the other scenario just got in play, but it's not a difference in my opinion. I'm still waiting for the key level $3.36 breaking to the upside. There we also have a fair value gap, so I can imagine that we take this one out, this one too, this also worked. So I can expect that we are going to fill that fair value gap very fast, get rejected at the white trend line, get our retest at $3.36. There I want to be long for this push afterwards. And if we afterwards get a breakout over the $3.64, even 65, then I'm going to increase my position size even more. But the only difference now is that I can actually take out the targets, because this chart pattern got invalidated. We just have resistance, and if that resistance breaks to the upside, then we have to calculate new price targets. So basically for XRP, I still have to wait a bit longer, but the sell-off which we got here, we predict that pretty good and pretty detailed. So everything looks good to me, unless we get a lower low than the previous one. So if we sell off, then I think it's not a good sign, and we can drop again into the area $2.46 to $2.36. So this area is going to be interesting if we get a low lower than the previous one. If we also look into the RSI, then you can also see we had here a triple bullish divergence. So 3 higher lows in the RSI, and starting from here, 3 lower lows in the chart. So if that bullish divergence is going to play off, then it's going to look very good. But I can also imagine that we are going to get some resistance at $3.36, because this price movement looks more corrective to me and not impulsive. So if we get a step higher, which I can imagine, then we should get some kind of an rising wedge which breaks to the downside and forms a higher low, and afterwards we get the breakout. So if I have to do everything new, then I'm going to do it like this. So I expect this kind of movement, afterwards a pullback, afterwards a push over $3.36 with the retest afterwards at $3.36, and then this breakout. And I want to be long once we get the retest over the bright blue trend line. So next coin, Solana. I also think that we have done a great job for Solana. We have tracked a rising wedge in bright blue. We have also said we are not going to take the maximum spread here. Yeah, that is ridiculous if we use it. We used the mid-range target. And the mid-range target, we can just take this one like this, put it then to the breakout point. We already hit it. Then we have also said double top pattern. Also broke to the downside. Target was the 185 US dollar, but you can also see the circle here. This was a fair value gap, and if I just take the circle to the right side, then you can see we filled that fair value gap completely. Do you see any kind of red area anymore? No, that's why, because the fair value gap got filled. I can take this one out, this one too, and this rising wedge as well. We don't need it anymore. This worked pretty good. We have also said in yesterday's update that we already went into the purple box. And if we get into some kind of support area, then we can also say maybe the correction is done. But I haven't seen that, because we still had some space to the downside to first get a bullish divergence. And also we weren't oversold yet. So what I expected was a correction to the upside. So we get some price movement to the upside, where we get the RSI also corrected to the upside, and afterwards sell off again. So we got, with this price movement, the cool down in the RSI, and afterwards the sell off, this one here. And we filled the fair value gap. We also got over 185 US dollar again. And here I want to show you something which I think is very positive. So if we zoom in, then you can see we fell lower than that, but we got back over our key level and retested it for several hours. And here is the first good green candle. So do I personally think that the correction is over? Yes. Am I in a long position for Solana? Yes. Why that? Because we have said at $185 we are going to get into a long position with a stop loss at round about $172. Yeah, it just has to be lower than the lows which we have on this side. So since the price movement looks good to me, I can look for another long entry to scale up my position, and I see it once we get over $194.30. So if we get a nice breakout here, we have also a fair value gap. So I want to see the fair value gap getting closed, getting our retest. In the retest, I'm going to double up my position. And I want this price movement into the next fair value gap. The next fair value gap is at $220 to $225. Don't worry, here are the price tags, so you can always see it. And if we zoom out, but for that we have to go into the 4-hour chart. And you can also see it. This might be an, I would say, ugly inverted head and shoulders formatation, or this rectangle. The target is the same if we take the inverted head and shoulders formatation. If we take the rectangle, doesn't matter. The target is going to be the $243 and 33 cents. Do I still think that we have some more upside potential? For sure. Ethereum also showed us a bull flag which broke to the upside, and we had our target for Ethereum. If you remember it, it was $4,400. With the new chart pattern, we have a target of $4,600. So basically, the chart patterns are going to tell me, okay, we want to get a bit more higher. In the case of Solana, we have a fair value gap between $244 to $255. Here also the price tags. And in my opinion, this price area is going to be the top of Solana. It is very speculative. For sure, we have to see and find some bearish chart patterns on the way up. For example, a big double top pattern, which we afterwards break to the downside, and then we can sell off a lot. But I think it's going to fit, because we don't have much more or any kind, no, we don't have any kind of fair value gaps over us. I think this is also all-time high area. I think it's even the all-time high. Yeah, it's the all-time high area. Round about that. So at $264 we also have resistance, which I don't think we are going to break to the upside without getting a bigger pullback. Anyway, so my personal target for this up move is going to be the $250 round about that. This is going to be very realistic in my opinion. Afterwards, I see a bigger correction to the downside, and then we have to track if we find some big chart patterns which are leading us into the area $300 and above. So, with that said, enjoy your day, and we see each other in the next update where I talk about Sui, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin.